How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is RuffledRowlit, and today we got some basic Pokemon news, so let's get started. First things first, guys, we have the preloads and the download sizes officially for Pokémon Legends ZA. What does this mean? Well, basically, Pokémon Legends ZA preloads are now available. You can start downloading the game right now, which is literally exactly what I've done. I've actually got the game over on the Le Switch, as I can show you right here. If I can literally just get into the actual device, if my Joy-Cons will connect, can go in and show you that, yes, there it is, a ZA. I've already got it on my console now. It is preloadable. This means that you can preload the game. You can already download it, but it's not playable until next week, right? So that's pretty much what's going on in regards to that. I am also going to be playing the version of the game that's specifically for New Zealand, Australia, which means you get to play it a little bit earlier if you are in, you know, in the Americas or Europe or whatever. I actually made an entire video you can watch about that. But what do we know about this preload? Well, as follows, they do mention here that basically the final game sizes are going to be for the regular Nintendo Switch. So this is the basic version of the game, is going to be for like the regular Switch 1 is going to be 4 gigabytes, which is not very big at all. It's actually very small. And then for Switch 2, it's 7.7, which is also really small, which is, I mean, okay, a bit surprising, I'm not gonna lie. But yes, so, and by the way, I'm gonna tell you right now, the reason there's like almost double the size for the Switch 2 version is not because there's more content or anything, or really any of that. It's literally just the performance upgrade, right? It's like the upgrade pack that you get. That's the only difference, realistically, because it's literally the only thing that makes a difference. Like when you buy the Switch 2 version, that's literally just the Switch 1 version with the upgrade pack latched onto it. So again, that's just going to give you 60 frames a second and better performance. Again, and I know, I'm sorry when I do this better performance, but it's like, yes, it is better performance, but it does mean you have to buy an entire other console to just get that better performance. That's all you get. There's not really anything else substantial you get from the Switch 2 version. It's literally just the game with better performance and 60 frames a second, and that's about the extent of it. So yeah, and again, I'm gonna be playing it on the Switch 2. That's where I'm gonna be playing it. In case you guys haven't, you know, gotten yourself a Switch 2, don't worry, you can still play the game on your Switch 1, because that's gonna be still doable. So just keep that in mind. That is still, like, you know, it's still playable on your regular Switch. There's no issue, any issue in regards to that. And it's like not like you need the performance boost necessarily. For me, it's just useful for recording games in 60 FPS. That just looks better on YouTube. That's like the main reason, to be honest with you. And plus, now I just don't have to buy this thing next year when Gen 10 comes out for more videos. But yeah, just wanted to share this. They also do give a reminder here, which is this is impossible to data mine. So this is a preload, which means it's not playable. There's no way to go through the files of this, right? Because it's not a playable file yet. It's literally just data that's just being held on your device, and there's no way to go through that data or through those files. This is the same every year, so if you aren't aware of that, well, there's your explanation for it. So yeah, the game is preloadable already. They do also have this, apparently, which is that an update came out. Update 1.0.1 is available to download, and this one, apparently, the patch contents are unknown. What that exactly is, what this patch is meant to be, this literally day one patch, which is already there. Don't know what that is, but here's what they did say about it here, which is that Pokemon Legends ZA Day 1 patch is 3.6 gigabytes on Switch 2, and it actually contains all the new textures and other assets for the Switch 2 edition. We currently don't know if cartridges will have its pre-installed, or if Switch 2 players will have to download the 3.6 gigabyte update. So that is very interesting. Very curious to know like how that's going to be like for the Switch 1, because they don't mention Switch 1 here at all. But yeah, so that patch is out as well. So we'll see how that actually, you know, if that has any impact, you know, once the game comes out, when people can data mine it and see if there's much differences between patch 1.0.1 and also for the download and stuff. We'll have to wait until the actual game drops to see how that's going to work. But again, like I said, the Switch 2 edition, if you really care about the game, like I said, looking slightly better. Dude, I'm sorry. I'm gonna offend so many people with the quote, like the air quotes. I'm sorry, but if you really if it really matters to you, then just get it. Except if you don't have a Switch 2, just don't bother. Play it on the Switch 1. That's totally fine as well. It does not make it doesn't change anything realistically, right? You can still enjoy the game fully. I think. I do think there is one advantage though, and that's the fact that the game does have real-time combat, like real-time battles, where I do think having the Switch 2 will give you a little bit of an advantage because of the fact that you have those 60 frames a second, which will make you like smoother when you make movements and attacks, giving you a little bit of an edge over somebody who's maybe playing on Switch 1, where there's a little bit of a delay when you do certain actions. But other than that, I think you're gonna have a great time no matter which console you play it on. But again, that's pretty much the main difference, though. It's just that it's like a graphical difference and a performance difference, and that's the main thing. It's nothing, you know, else. There's no extra story or extra gameplay stuff or anything like that, or extra Pokemon. There's nothing like that. I'm just trying to explain this so people understand that there's not like a substantial, massive difference between the two, in case you are going to be going into this. So yeah, just keep that in mind. That it's just, you know, it's pretty much just like the regular game. However, if you go over to the next thing, though, we have this post from Necrofelipe, who says something interesting about Pokopia, which you guys may know. Pokopia, it's like the Animal Crossing style Pokemon game that's coming out. Now, they say Nintendo of America finally makes Pokopia available on its official website in the Americas. We can go over actually here to the website and see what they say about it. Again, this is like the Portuguese version of it. So we are on Portugal, but or Brazilian Portuguese. But I think we can like, oh, jeez. Oh, damn, man. We can translate it. But yeah, they basically just show you some details about it. There's nothing really crazy. It still needs to be verified, like classifications. That's like, you know, what ages you're allowed to play it and all that kind of stuff. Things of that nature. We can also see what languages it will be compatible in. So German, simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, Korean, Spanish, French, English, Italian, Japanese. The usual, I think. I do think, though, they didn't include like Latin, like Latin American, like Spanish is here, but that's like, I think, Iberian, like the Iberian version of Spanish. They didn't include like Spanish that's more suitable to South America and Central American. I think that's something they are doing for the mainline games now, but I don't know if that's like a difference here. And I don't know if that matters necessarily to you guys. I know a lot of people do care about that, so it's probably important for those people. But other than that, the website is officially up. Yeah, it's just, I'm guessing at this point we're just waiting and seeing if like anything else is going to come from this. But yeah, again, it's officially on there now. The release date is 2026, and there's no pre-orders or anything like that just yet. I'm curious about the price on this. If they charge $80 for this game, I don't know, Chief. I mean, people are going to still buy it, but it's going to be a little bit steep. The next thing, though, is apparently, this coming from Carfor97 here, who shared this post from ABC Boy, who shared a post from, I think, an article that they had here from Prime Time, PR Times Japan, where I guess they spoke to some of the people working at the Pokemon Company, where the Pokemon Company apparently said that kindly request that you don't use the phrase Pokémon Legends series, which is interesting, as that would imply that maybe he's like trying to say like, hey, this is not a series of games, this is like its own individual thing, which is, are they trying to say like, hey, this is still a mainline Pokemon game? Or it's, because we already know it's a mainline Pokemon game, but Legends games are still Legends games. They're like, they are kind of a subgenre of the mainline Pokemon game. So I don't know what they're going for here, man. This is a bit weird. Again, it could be a mistranslation, so I wouldn't trust this 100%. Could be a mistranslation, but I would assume the ABC Boy knows their shit, so I would not think that they're getting stuff wrong here, because that would be really, let's say, out of character for them. So there's that. But moving on, we do also have some information for all of us who want to be sad about leaks. It's Jover, and it's a post of the street date, October 16th, which is basically like when are they allowed to like release this game officially and all that kind of stuff, the set dates. Basically, this was a confirmation sent to him from like some people that work at these companies that sell these games, like Walmart, you know, GameStop, etc. And basically, for people who are asking what this means, it means that Nintendo changed how early stores are going to get the games to stop games from leaking. In this case, the store above doesn't get copies until 4 days out before release. As you can see, October 12th is when they get their first set of games, right? So that means that they're only getting the first set of games on Sunday is when they're actually going to get them into their facility. And this is probably their way of avoiding, this is Nintendo's way of avoiding from the game actually leaking early or getting into the hands of people earlier than intended. So that's what they're pretty much implying there. Of course, also there is a whole post here, and I made an entire video about the combat. Actually, I think I made it in short about the combat system. I do have an entire video as well that I've recorded, just haven't edited it. But basically, we do have some information that we've kind of already spoken about the actual how like battles will work in ZA. For example, they're saying here, this is by the way from Makio J. Roses, who run PokeOS. Definitely check out PokeOS. Gorgeous, beautiful, perfect website for a bunch of information. But again, it's free movement. Both you and your Pokemon can move around the area. We already know this information. However, the cooldown system, moves no longer rely on turns. Each attack has its own cooldown before it's used again, influenced by Pokemon speed. Because yes, when you use a move in the game, like the moves down here, the way the moves work now is that when you have like the speed of your Pokemon, normally speed before would basically determine who goes first, right? If you have a higher speed Pokemon, you're going to go first. You're going to have priority to do your attack first. However, in ZA, there is no turns, and as such, what's the point of the speed move, or the speed stat, sorry. Well, basically, what speed stat does is it lowers the cooldown of your actual moves over here, because all your moves are all on cooldowns, and that's what it now does. Also, they talk about AoE effects, like moves can hit zones, cones, or lines instead of single target. Positioning becomes very key strategy, and also, visible stat changes and drops now appear as visual indicators. So, for example, if a Pokemon's stat has gone down, it's a blue little arrow, and these dots here, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these 5 dots, this is basically attack, defense, attack, special attack, defense, special defense, speed, right? That's the 5 stats you have right here. And if it's a blue arrow pointing down, it's meaning your speed stat has gone down. And if it's a red arrow pointing up, it means your attack stat here in this case has gone up, right? So that's essentially what those are implying. Also, you're no longer able to stack buffs. You cannot essentially, if you use like Swords Dance, it's not going to boost your stats 1x, 2x, 3x if you use it multiple times. Instead, all it does is it boosts it 1x, and then if you use it a second time, it just extends the duration of that buff, right? That's essentially all it does. So as they even say here, stacking status moves using multiple moves that temporarily boost the same stat will not make the boost more powerful. It will, however, make the stat boosts last longer, and that is pretty much that. I think we've gone through those things. I don't think we're missing anything. Also, by the way, since the games are now preloadable, like I showed you on the Switch over here, since they're now able to be preloaded, that also means that you can now, if you check your email, if you got the game on the eShop, you will now have a code, not for these holo suits, because these holo suits will just be available in the game for you to claim. Like, there's not actually a code, I think, yet. They're just immediately usable as soon as you start the game, so you'll be able to just, like, literally have your character wear these outfits right off the bat. However, if you bought the game early, you can receive this code now. If you go into your email, you'll have a code for these Poké Balls, right? You'll have 3 heavy balls, 3 level balls, lure balls, and fast balls. Also, if you pre-order the game, you'll also have a code, and this is specifically for the DLC, by the way. If you got the DLC, you'll have this set of luxurious Poké Balls, right? However, if you just got the game, the regular game, pre-ordered, you will also have a code in your email for 100 Poké Balls, which I think will come in handy, especially early on, because you might not have as much cash early on in the game. This is just for people who want to speedrun the game really quickly early on, like myself. So that's really useful for you guys. Then also, Soldiers had some thoughts, because we got to actually see a little bit more Greninja, like what it looks like in-game. As you can see right there, he's like literally spinning the entire time while Mega, dude. He's like just upside down the entire time, which looks so funny. You can see him using a move right there, which looks pretty clean, not gonna lie, against Mega Tyranitar, and of course the other Megas. We've spoken about this before. I think we haven't really missed anything there. Then here was a bit of a theory again from Yoriden. It's again a lot of theories about, like, you know, what the next game is going to be, because there's been a lot of like elements that, like, for example, you have paintings and stuff that hint at stuff. I'll talk about this more later. And then finally, Serbia update. The Pokemon Center website has launched in Germany. So yes, if you're in Germany, the Pokemon Center now has a website that you can buy stuff from if you are from Germany. Unfortunately, I tried to get something for that. I was trying to get a Mareep plushie, but I couldn't, because for some reason they don't ship to Belgium, which is really weird, because all German companies generally do actually ship to Belgium because we're so close by the border, but apparently Pokemon Center doesn't, which is not very based. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll have, I think, 2 more videos later for you guys, so stay tuned for that, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out, and bye-bye, ladies and gents.